Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of Familiar... Oh my gosh, I messed up. Round 2. Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of 4-Letter Word with your host Fallenwolf. Oh! So, this is technically round 3. I recorded this previously and I realized that my mic settings weren't set optimally. For example, the volume was set to 100%, which is a definite no-no when I'm recording. I always set it to like around the 80 range. So yeah, so it was peaking very badly and it sounded very scratchy and I was very upset with the way it was coming out. But hopefully this time will work out. I just wanted to say first that I am so sorry that I'm so sorry that it's so late to recording another episode of this. I know this is a lot of people really enjoy this. This is pretty popular along with Familiar Travels. Now, Familiar Travels I've been doing a lot of, but I figure I can't forget a lot of these smaller projects, smaller ongoing furry events that are still being, worked on. So, I'm back with another episode of 4-Letter Word, and I'm really hoping that, we get some more info about what's going on between what happened in the past between Colby. Last time we left off... Actually, let me show you first, to prove you that I recorded this previously. These two save files are actually the ones that I saved after specific choices. But we're going back to this one. We're starting from scratch. But real quick recap. Last time we left off, for anybody who's not watched, first of all, for anybody who's watching this and skipped all the other videos, what are you doing? Please go back to the other videos. This is a really well VN. If you're a person that really enjoys furry VNs but you want something a little more realistic, this is definitely the VN for you. It is, if you really like your romance and drama and something more realistic, definitely I would really heavily recommend a 4-Letter Word. It's a lot more realistic, and it still has a little bit of romance in it to a degree, and a lot of drama, lots and lots of drama actually. But anyway, last time we left off, we were dealing with Noah. Noah is Colby's old, I guess you would call him an old boyfriend of his. I think he said boyfriend. An old boyfriend of his who basically Noah threw Colby under the bus, and they broke up. And Noah showed up back in Colby's life all these years later, now that he's in Claremont, and wanted to apologize. But but there was a lot more going on than him just he did apologize, but we're starting to find some hints that while Noah is clean now, he's dealing with a lot. So now, I guess we're gonna figure out if Colby can forgive him. Not necessarily if he's gonna get back with him, but if he forgives them. And that's a thing. I think that's a lesson all of us can take to heart. I know it's a lesson I can take to heart. I know I'm very hard at forgiving people, and there's still people in my life that I haven't forgiven yet. So, and I know a lot of people deal with that situation, so I'm really excited to see where this goes. Hopefully, this video is a decent length. I don't know how long it's going to be. Last time I recorded, it was about 30 minutes, so probably about 30, no more than 40 minutes with this video. But let's see what happens. I'm excited to see what happens. I know all of you are excited to see what happens, so let's take it from the top. Shit, I think I might have slept in a bit. Not that it matters, though. I don't have work today. That was one of the nice things about working in porn. One of the not so nice things is waking up aching in places that I wouldn't otherwise know even existed. Some of those positions, man, they were not meant to be sustained for hours. At least I could take it easy, now, in spite of my neurotic brain's best efforts to sabotage me. Even though it's been years since I stepped foot in a classroom, sometimes I still get little jolts of panic when I check the time after waking up, thinking I'm going to be late for school. It could be worse, though. I could be Asher. That guy's in such a stupor when he wakes up, and sometimes it gets pretty bad. Like, pour juice all over your waffles and syrup into your cup bad. I could just see Asher being that person that, I could just see Asher waking up in the morning and being that person that somehow causes milk to catch on fire. He just comes in the kitchen and then Colby just comes in the kitchen and sees that everything's on fire and he's like, what did you, and Colby's like, what did you do? Anyway. Okay, so maybe he only did that once, and maybe I could have... Okay, so maybe he only did that once, and maybe I could have done something about it. But you can't really blame me for not wanting to, can you? Speaking of that dork, I guess he's long since headed to work. Getting random days off is nice and all, but when everyone else does the work, it kind of limits your hangout options. I guess I still need to call Mom. Now's actually the perfect time. Hello? Oh my gosh, it's Colby's mother! Oh, it's the first time we've seen either of their parents. Cause Asher's route, we got mention of his mom and dad. We got mention of his family more in Emil's route than anything. But oh my gosh. Hey Mom. Colby, I thought you never called. Because you never do. Oh, come on, Mom. I'm not that bad. You're getting there. Anyway, how's my little baby boy doing? Pretty good. I got your care package a few days ago. I was wondering when that was going to arrive. Did it make you miss home enough to want to come by and visit? I should have known you had an ulterior motive. You always do. Well, if that didn't do the trick, I've got some brownies baking in a pan right now. Remember how much you used to love it when I cut off the edges and saved them for you? So crisp. Mom! So crunchy. Damn it, this is what happens when someone knows you too well. You can stop with the food porn, Mom. Alright, but don't be surprised if you find a batch in your next care package. All your life, you've never been able to resist them once they're in front of you. Challenge accepted. Speaking of porn, how's work? Okay. Oh, she knows? Wow. Okay, I guess she knows about your job. Yeah, she knows. It's work. How exactly are you supposed to talk about your porn career with your mom? Oh, don't get all shy on me. The surest way to make me feel my age is to treat me like an old prude. Don't you know how proud I am of you? And maybe a little jealous. What? For real? Sure, you're in your 20s, Colby. This is the time to be adventurous, wild, and crazy. So make the most of it before you have to settle for a boring desk job because your bottom got all saggy. Wow, that's such a... Oh my gosh, what Mom says. It won't ever if I have anything to say about it. Good, no son of mine is going to have a flabby bum. Yes, ma'am. You know what? You were just like me when I was your age. I was quite the busy little bee in my 20s, too. Mom, gross. Hey, nothing gross about it. In fact, you should be thankful, young man. If not for that, you might not have been born. Mom, I really don't want to imagine you and Dad. You know. Well, someone's got to make you feel uncomfortable every once in a while, since your father keeps shirking his God-given responsibility to embarrass his son. I swear, your father's such a stick in the mud if he wasn't so good at. Okay, let's not go any further with that, please. Okay. It looks like you take after your father a little too. No fun at all. This is why I never let you talk to Asher directly. Oh, come on, he can't be any worse than your father. You'd be surprised how many shades of red a gray wolf can turn. How is Dad these days, anyway? Oh, as fussy as always, and so bad at taking care of himself. I swear, I feel like his babysitter sometimes. I have to do all my baking during the day when he's at work, because no matter where I hide this stuff, he always seems to find it. He should know better with his diabetes and everything. But don't you worry about him none. I'm taking good care of him. Okay, I should probably let you get back to your baking then. Alright, honey, thanks for taking the time to call. Your father and I miss you. I know, I'd go back to Newcrest to visit more often, but it's hard to find the time. You know how it is. A little white lie. I was never able to properly explain what happened in high school to them. Of course, my little baby boy all grown up and a responsible adult now. I couldn't tell you how proud that makes me. Thanks, Mom. Love you. Love you too, dear. It has been 7 years. That's a long time not to see your parents. Like, that's a long time. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I know some people don't. I mean, you know, that's a long time. I mean, I understand if you have issue with your parents, but he seems to get along with his parents. I mean, I don't know if I would ever have the courage if I started getting into the porn, if Fallenwolf started getting in the porn business. I don't know if I'd have the courage to tell my parents, like, hey, listen, I do porn for a living. So, I mean, that's a good relationship you have with your parents, you know, and his mom seems accepting of it. That's a very good parent. You know, I mean, you know, that's a good parent. I don't know what else to say. Maybe no one would recognize me if I go back, or maybe they'll have scattered all over the country. I mean, if Noah ended up here, then how likely is it that everyone else is still there? I'll have to get over this hang-up eventually. I can't avoid my folks for the rest of my life. Speaking of Noah, I wonder how he's doing. I should probably get in touch with him again soon. Oh, another day passed. Wednesday, November 20th. The days go by pretty fast, I'm not gonna lie. But you know what it is for this VN? It's more like every event that happens takes a day away. So this game doesn't but I think that's a good thing. I think that I don't really mind that much, and I think that's something that when I'm working on my VN, I need to work on, because I'm a little worried. I want to get most of. It's something I recognize that is hard to do. Proper pacing. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. That's the word you were looking for, Melissa. Like, come on. That was the word I was looking for. Proper pacing. I think this game. I think for the most part it does a proper way of pacing. There are some events like in Asher's Route where I had issues with how the pacing went, but for the most part, I guess this VN is mainly like, hey, we're not going to portray every single thing that this person does a day. We're just going to show the important events that happen that day, which is fair. I mean, because if you go show everything, then you might get to the point where, and it doesn't progress the story, then it gets boring and monotonous. So, Noah, what a rough couple of nights. I couldn't stop worrying about him. To be honest, it really shook me up, just seeing him again, and especially like that. The years had been kind to him, but then, to see him like that, I was starting to worry what shape he'd be in the next time I saw him. I know it's what he might have wanted, but was it really right to leave him in that kind of environment? Shit, is it even any of my business? God, it's selfish, I know, but part of me wishes we never crossed paths again. Hell, that's what I wanted 7 years ago. Things would be a lot less complicated, and I wouldn't be sitting here fretting about a situation I might not be able to do anything about. But even if I was blissfully unaware, that wouldn't change the fact that what Noah was going through was very real. And no matter what happened between us, he didn't deserve this. But do I have the right to butt into his life? To make the things that need to happen to help him get back on his feet? What if I'm wrong and I just end up making things worse? It's his life. If he doesn't want me interfering, should I? He mentioned working at a halfway house on Carver Street. Maybe I should go pay him a visit. Or maybe I should just try not to get involved. We're gonna save. For this playthrough, I'm gonna be continuing on with Noah, because I'm kind of interested to know more about Noah's story. So for this one, I make so many save points. For this one this video specifically, we're gonna visit Noah. I'm gonna see what's up with him. Of course. What am I thinking? If nothing else, I should at least check up on him and see how he's doing. Oh, I think this is were we here before? I might have been here before. I think I was, maybe. This has to be the right place. Now to see if Noah showed up to work today. Cole? Oh my gosh. Look at his eye. I feel so bad. He's getting abused. No, you're getting beat up. Noah? He's wearing some very casual, he's wearing some very dad clothes. It looks like he's ready to go out on the golf course. Cole, what are you doing here? Jeez. Noah did not look great. That eye probably was gonna heal anytime soon. I was looking for you. I'm in a session with a resident right now. You'll have to come back later. Oh, look at this. I don't know what kind of creature this is, but I'm sure we can figure it out. Are you a friend of Mr. Burr's? Mr. Burr? I guess that would be Noah. It's weird to hear someone call him that, though. Mr. Burr was always his dad. We really hadn't seen each other since we were still kids. Weird to think about. Huh? Oh, yeah. The Ermine leaned in close, giving a sidelong glance at Noah. I'm gonna have to look and see what that is later. I don't know what kind of creatures are Ermine. We'll look at it later. That's good. That's good. He looks like he could use a friend right now. It's alright, Mr. Burr. Why don't you let him stay? You sure about this? Naturally. Alright. Sorry about that, Cole. This is Joel, by the way. Nice to meet you, Cole. Likewise, Joel. Joel here is one of the boys I work with here. Boys? You're not that old, Noah. Although you do look a lot older in a polo shirt, Mr. Barr. Well, I have to trick these guys into thinking I'm some kind of authority figure somehow. Although it's too late for you, Joel. You're stuck with me. Is that supposed to bother me? He's a good kid. Unlike me, he didn't do anything to deserve what happened to him. I got into a car accident ages ago that left me really shaken up. At first, I couldn't even get into a car without having a panic attack. Just stepping inside any vehicle got my heart pounding like mad and made it difficult to breathe. Not a really tenable situation, eh? So my doctor prescribed me 10 milligram tablets of Valium twice a day. It only took a few weeks. Everybody's body and circumstances are different, so it's impossible to say where the threshold for addiction is. But Valium has extremely long half-life. Damn near anyone would be in serious danger with that kind of dosage, uninterrupted every day. Yeah, he ain't my doctor no more. Fast forward a few years later, and I'm in serious need of help, but I don't feel like I can trust a doctor to help me anymore. Cause, well, you see how that worked out for me last time. Most physicians in this country are trained to treat addictions anyway. That's where specialists like benzo-wise counselors like me come in. Yep, so that's when I checked in here and when Mr. Barr saved my life. Joel likes to get dramatic sometimes. I'm not kidding. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't stumble upon you. I'm far from the only counselor who could help you. Maybe, but you're the only one who cared. Well, don't give me too much credit. You're not out of the woods yet. I know. What do you mean? Is the detox not going well? It's something you hear people say a lot, that benzos are harder to quit than heroin. There's some truth to it. Heroin withdrawal is a lot more physically intense, but it only lasts a matter of days. Detoxes from benzos can take years and lead to fatal seizures if we're not careful. The worst of it will be over in a few months, but the anxiety, the muscle spasms, I still get them sometimes myself, and I've been clean for 2 years. Yeah, Mr. Burr's been pretty clear. It's not going to be easy. It never is for any of us. But at least now I have the hope that someday I'll beat this. I'll be able to wake up in the morning and my mind will be my own. My body will be my own. No matter how hard it is or how long it takes, it'll be worth it just to be normal again and be able to take control of my life. I didn't know what to say. I'd never really seen the ugly side of Noah's addiction. He was well into it by the time I discovered it, but I had only seen flickers of it in our relationship. But one thing was clear now. It was a dark, dark place that I'm glad I only had to have a glimpse. However, one thing was still bothering me. Noah, earlier you said, unlike me. How did it happen to you? I'd written him off almost as soon as I discovered all those forged prescriptions he had, and until recently, never offered him a second thought. All those years, and I never even knew why. Sorry if that's prying too much. You don't have to. No, it's cool. I guess it's more embarrassing these days than anything. It was so long ago, it feels like it happened to a different person now. Hell, I was a different person. Back then, a real dumb kid. But I bet you hear that a lot. Lots of people do things they regret when they're teenagers. For me, it had a lot to do with what I didn't do. My parents always had very high expectations for me. It felt like they had my whole life planned out for me. That in itself would have been so bad if I could have followed through on any of it. Being a disappointment to everyone you love, it's rough. The pressure of living up to the person they wanted me to be got to me. I needed some relief. My parents were pretty wealthy, so I knew they wouldn't notice a little money missing here and there. I tried everything under the sun to help me forget, but nothing. Nothing was quite like Temphazine. While I was on it, I couldn't care less about, well, anything at all. No more worries about what was expected of me. No more worries about scholarships. No more worries about which Ivy League school I could get into. The world could end and I just wouldn't give a damn. It was like nothing could ever bother me again. I felt such inner peace. My happiness was invincible. Until my high was over. Sounds like heavy shit, man. Don't think I ever felt happy like that on Blue V's. I mean, peaceful, sure, but I don't think I ever felt anything approaching happiness. Yeah, most benzos don't really make you feel euphoric like that if you aren't mixing it with opioids, but Temphazine was different. And that was all I needed to get at least psychologically dependent on them. I'd go doctor shopping, malingering to get multiple prescriptions or buy them off of seniors who were having difficulty keeping up with the rising cost of prescriptions. Whatever it took, I did it. And thanks to you, it didn't go unnoticed. I'm sorry? No, I didn't mean it like that. Even if I didn't see things that way at the time, even if I made up all sorts of stupid shit and pinned it on you because I couldn't accept the responsibility of what I'd done, I'm thankful that you found me out when you did. If you hadn't, I don't know how much further off the deep end I'd have gone before seeking help. Noah, man, does it ever feel weird to feel kind of bad about being the good guy? I don't know. I think it's kind of normal for an empathetic person. You see or hear about the ordeals people have to go through because you did the right thing, and it's hard to deal with sometimes. Noah faltered. I know it took me a minute to register that before I understood why. Did I do the right thing in choosing to ignore his abuse? It might have been turned away from me, but I could still see his black eye, and I knew that was far from the only bruise Noah bore. Well, anyway, you're doing a lot better now. I figured Joel could feel the awkward tension building. I was glad he was able to step in and cut it before it got a chance to settle in. I'm not sure I ever told you, but it's been a real source of strength for me. Joel. I mean it. Just being able to talk to someone who's been through what I've been through and come out the other end has been huge for me. Whenever things get rough, I used to ask myself, why me? But now, I just tell myself I can get through this. You have, so I can too. And you will. What sort of things do you guys do to help manage it? You know about AA? Alcohol's Anonymous? Right. I know it might seem a little weird, since benzos and alcohol are pretty different beasts, but there is some overlap between them. They're both depressants and can downregulate your gamma aminobutyric acid, commonly known as GABA receptors. Or GABA, there we go, GABA receptors. Severe cases of alcohol withdrawal can result in seizures like benzos too. AA promotes this thing called a 12-step program to help its members reach a turning point in their battle with alcohol, but it's been adapted to a wide range of substance abuse problems, including benzos. The biggest breakthrough for me was the very first step, accepting my inability to overcome my addiction. For so long, I'd been real hard on myself for being weak or lazy, and lacking the willpower or conviction to just be able to quit. It wasn't until then that I was able to be honest with myself and understand that I couldn't just stop it by wanting it badly enough, and that by putting it all on me, I was setting myself up to take an even harder fall when I failed. The truth of the matter is that drugs change your brain structure and hijack your reward system. It's not as simple as deciding one day that you've had enough. I needed help. Following the 12 steps put me in contact with other men and women who'd been through the same thing as me, and who would help me avoid the situations and people that helped contribute to it. But before you can do that, you also need to be honest with yourself. It might not be your fault that you keep relapsing and can't find a way out, but you do have to acknowledge the wrong that you've done. It means more than just taking responsibility for the mistakes you've made that got you into that mess. You have to recognize the behaviors and actions that you do that continue to exacerbate the issue. And you have to make amends whenever possible with the people you've hurt along the way. Our meeting in the alleyway, then, was that what that was about? The last step is to then be there for others who need your support. That's why I'm here now. I was a little resistant to 12-step programs at first. Despite being the most widely accepted course of addiction treatment, they don't have an astounding success rate, and the original steps were pretty heavily spiritual and religious. Yeah, there was a pretty heavy emphasis on turning to God for help, but that doesn't really help the atheists and agnostics among us, and there are plenty of those. When a decent portion of your steps to recovery are predicted on faith, if you simply can't believe in that, then the whole thing falls apart at the seams. Still, there is value in a lot of the concepts behind the steps, so lately there's been a lot of secular variations that have sprouted up. The steps aren't the be-all and end-all of addiction treatment, anyhow, and people who rely solely on it and nothing else are far less likely to remain sober than those who explore all their options. Exactly. Mr. Burrs laid out a taper for me to help ease me through the withdrawal process, and we're trying out a bunch of EBPs. Evidence-based practices. Yeah, those, like yoga and CBT. Sorry, cognitive behavioral therapy tapes. Yoga helps a lot with anxiety, and increases the central nervous system GABA levels by up to 27%. While just taking extra GABA is not very helpful, since our downregulated receptors mean it wouldn't be able to cross the blood-brain barrier, having higher GABA levels does seem to be of greater benefit. Or great benefits are. The CBT tapes help with those panic attacks as well. I no longer feel like I absolutely need to pop a V to calm down, though it is still tempting to at times when I'm feeling weak. Oh no, was that Noah's boyfriend? Yes it is! Oh no. Noah's face darkened when he looked at his phone screen. Something was up. I'm sorry, I need to take this call. I'll be right back. I had an idea of who that might be. Hey. Huh? I don't know if Mr. Burr thinks he's really fooling anyone or not, but I can see right through him. That black guy? He said he got mugged, but I've seen plenty of people who've been attacked on the streets. And not a single one of them looked quite so sad when they told me that. Angry, bitter, incredulous? Sure. Some laughed it off, thought it was a great story to tell their friends. But sadness? No, that's new. Listen, Mr. Burr has done so much for me, but you know, the people who try to help everyone else are often the ones who need help the most themselves. Even from day one, you know what he said to me when we first sat down for a session? He said, Joel, what are you going to do when you get out of here? At first I thought, what kind of a question is that? I'm just barely holding on as it is. I can't think of anything but surviving until the next day, let alone months from now. So I told him that. You know what he said? He said, Joel, when you get out of here, you're going to march out of that door with your head held high. All of your grief, your pain, and those last 6 years behind you. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to look ahead for the first time in a decade, and you're going to see that bright future that's waiting there for you. Then let's make that happen. It made me know right away. It made me know he cared. This wasn't just a job for him. It was a mission. So please, Cole, take good care of him. For me, I will. You can count on it. Sorry about that. Hope I didn't keep you guys waiting too long. That's alright. I really should let you get back to your session. I've intruded for long enough. I just came by because I wanted to check in on you. We can hang out more when you're not on the clock. Oh, if you want to, I do want to. And don't hesitate to call me if you need anything. You know I'll come. Yeah, After all, you did when I needed you. It was nice meeting you, Cole. The pleasure was all mine, Joel. Good luck with your recovery. I won't need luck. I have him. Oh. And Noah? Noah will have me. Thursday, November 21st. Oh my god. Whew. Alright, I'm gonna save here. See what I mean? This game is so good at having realistic depictions of things. You can tell the creator Co. The creator Co did a really fantastic job. Sorry, the creator really did a fantastic job at like explaining like about addiction and all that. I really appreciate that. I think that's fantastic. I really do appreciate seeing that kind of detail in a VN. So. But anyway, it's that sad time of the day where I have to go. I want to just say real quick, thank you everyone for watching my videos and looking at my streams, and even the people that now are following me on Twitch. Just a quick reminder for people. I have started using Twitch. Twitch is for if you're not into like VNs or furry games. I also play just normal basic stuff like Bayonetta and Yakuza 0. Actually, I'm in the middle of playing Yakuza 0 now on my Twitch. Stuff like that though, I play on my Twitch. If you really are interested in that kind of game, those kind of basic normal, quote-unquote normal games, then feel free to follow my feel free to follow my Twitch. The description, the link to my Twitch is down in the description below this video. And also, just a quick reminder, I do have a Ko-fi and PayPal if you really enjoy what I do. If you really enjoy what I do and you really want to help out, feel free to donate. Even $1 helps. Or even if you can't donate, just sending the link to other people who might be able to donate helps a lot. I really do appreciate, though, people stopping by these videos. I'm so happy to do this. I love doing this for all of you guys. I love sharing small furry creators' creations to other people and getting the word out there about what they do. And it's humbling. I really do appreciate all of you. But with that being said, though, don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe if you like the channel, you like the video. If there's anything more you want to see on the channel, feel free to comment and let me know. The 4-letter word today is Noah. Feel free to tell me how you feel about Noah. It's going to be the pinned question. I was very curious how people feel about Noah, and I'm curious, do you think Colby and Noah are going to get back together? And do you think that's a good idea? But, with everything said and done, this has been Fallenwolf. Oh! And I hope to see all of you next time. Take care of yourselves and be safe. And mwah, I love all of you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.